Welcome back, everyone, to the Friday checkout edition of the Check-In with Bryan podcast. We're back again with another exciting episode with my friend and executive producer here, Tyler Alexander, joining us today. And we had another crazy week. I cannot believe it doesn't feel like it's been an entire week since we were here last. And I'm sure it's going to fly even longer because as my friend Roberto tells me, I'm old. And as I get older, time just keeps flying by even faster. We are here again. This is a short form version of the podcast so that you can check us out and listen at lunch, while you're at the gym, on the treadmill. Just know I'm not going to be on the treadmill while I'm recording this or ever. And we'll go ahead and dive into it. Tyler, we had a great guest this week on the Tuesday episode that dropped with Aileen Canta from University Hotels with her dog Amper, who's the chief barketing officer. Get it? Barketing.
Yeah.
So
no, they were great. It's a good combo.
They were. Yeah, no, that was a fantastic interview. And we filmed that right after we were at the NYU Investment Conference in New York earlier this summer. And she had just launched the brand, I think that day, or maybe it was the day before.
I think it was the day before that they got a launch. Actually, no, it was the day before. But
it was the day before,
very exciting. Yeah. And the first dog guest too.
First dog guest. And the dog was like very, Amber's very calm.
She was snoozing. Yeah.
But I do a lot of Zoom meetings or Teams or whatever or Google Meet, whatever they call them these days. I do a lot of calls with her at least every couple of days. And the funny thing is, Amber is not actually quiet when she's in her home space. Like she's totally a human because, you know, when you're at home, you're usually your true self. She's literally her true self when she is at home.
Yeah, the many personalities of a dog.
Episode was very good. I think the brand's going to have a lot of good trajectory at this point. And it's every day there's something new happening. And I think that Aileen is amazed. And I think you could tell actually when I watched it back this week, it was interesting because I think she also was having a moment of like, holy shit, this is actually happening.
Yeah, 100%. And I thought it was really cool and just it was just ironic that the whole thing kind of fell with her father's birthday and stuff too. It was just kind of like right time, right place.
Right. What were the odds?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We will have her back because I think we have to keep hearing from her how the progress is going.
It's going to be a continued discussion, 100%.
So, and hopefully
she said even in there too that she definitely wanted to come back next season and kind of give an update on where everything was.
Well, we'll have her back before next season. I mean, next season will be like, I think at this point, by next season, we'll be doing the episode within one of her hotels. So
that'd be sweet. Yeah, that'd be really
I guess
cool.
I should say our hotels because we are working with her, but they really are her babies. So
yeah,
we'll see that. But this week we had a very interesting guest on who I've seen over the years at different times, but Jack Paul was on Tuesday. Well, we've recorded with him on Tuesday. He was not on the show on Tuesday, but he will be this coming week if you're able to even edit it down. But we had a great conversation and it was great to catch up with him. I think I realized it had been 12 or 13 years ago that I actually first met him when I went to go work at the Holiday Inn in Gurnee, Illinois. And I loved him from the very minute I met him because I was like, this is a guy that gets
He's a great guy. He really is.
No, he was.
And he's passionate too.
Oh, 100%. 100%. So he's got all the qualities that I wish. Well, I mean, I have some of the same qualities, I'll say, but he's got a lot of qualities that I wish that I did have. He's just a calm, cool, collected guy at all times. Even when he would get, I do remember, like even when he would get a little bit like passionate, we'll say, it was never like he could always maintain that presence. So it was great catching up with him. I learned some things from it. I don't know if you did listening to it on the other side. I think that
there was a lot to learn, 100%.
There was. We went a little long.
Yeah, I think so. With our Tuesday episodes, we try to shoot those, get like an hour just for anyone listening. We try to shoot those within like an hour time frame, maybe a little bit over, maybe a little bit under, and cut that down a little bit just to keep the conversation flowing and going.
Right.
Keep the interesting bits in. But I think we hit about hour and 45 minutes. And the conversation was interesting the entire time. That's the thing. I wanted to kind of jump in and be like, hey guys, like we got to direct this a different way. But like, I couldn't really find a moment to go ahead and cut you guys. And because everything it made sense and it was very genuine. And you guys can tell that you guys had a lot of history and stuff too in the past. So,
yeah. Well, what I found so we're this hybrid format's new for us, right? So we haven't done it this way. Typically, the last year we'd always been doing it in person. I did realize this week after the Jack Paul recording, you dropped off because you had something else to do, which you for everyone listening, this does not happen. Like Tyler usually just is like, he's here because usually I'm the one that's like, I gotta go. I obviously was not in a hurry to leave the conversation. You like right after we'd already run long, I think at that point, like was it an hour and a half?
We started at 11, at least 11 my time, ended up kind of giving like a prelude and like kind of pre-discussion for like 30 minutes. And then I think I hopped off around 12:30 because I had a call at 1. I think you said that you guys had stayed on for another hour.
Well, exactly. Yeah. So then like you
that,
disconnected and then we kept talking and then we were on for like an hour and then he was like, I was actually glad he did it. He's like, Bryan, I apologize. I have to go. I think he had a call or a meeting or something to go to. And I was like, but I looked at my phone, I looked at the clock. I was like, oh crap. Like I need to go too. Yeah. I blew off a meeting. Like I completely blew off a meeting that was scheduled.
That's a funny thing too. I could have sworn like maybe a day or two prior that you had mentioned that you had something like pretty shortly after the scheduled time that we had.
Right.
I was like, maybe.
Which is why we schedule them. Like that's why it's scheduled 100%. So that we make sure we do it. So, but I realized since we're doing the hybrid format, and I don't know if you know that you did this, Tyler, for the last, like, I don't even remember how many episodes we shot last year, but you used to start pacing. So when I would not be like wrapping us up or getting us to the next thing,
I think,
I always do like when you stood up and started like going like left and right, I like knew that, okay, he's running out of patience. Like we need to.
My anxiety kind of kicked in a little bit. And I'm like, oh man, this is because it's like another thing too is you don't want the conversation, at least on my end, from like cutting and editing these a little bit too.
Right.
You don't want it like to take a good bit out. And it's like, if you know that you already have the pieces you need and me keeping tabs on the conversation during the entire thing, you really don't want to take a good piece of information that comes out. It kind of gets like, I'm like, oh man, how do I visually tell these people it's time, we got to start moving forward with the next bit, or we just got to start closing this conversation out.
You just have to say like, Bryan, stop talking. We need to move on, which I think you did leave a note and I didn't see it on the screen, but Jack did see it.
Oh, for the Tuesday episode this week? Yeah.
So, but no, in the future, like, or just get up. If I see you disappear from the screen, I'll be like, yeah, he knows it's time.
He's like he's gone.
I gotta move.
If he left,
that was, it was a learning experience because obviously this format's
100%.
different, but I also loved it because we would have never gotten Jack on if we had done it in person.
Exactly. So
I wouldn't have been able to get to Denver. I don't think he doesn't come to Phoenix that often. I don't think. You're in New York, so I like that we
kind of hard to get the gang together.
It's working. And next week I get to speak to Scott Clary, which is another one that you will have to probably cut me off at some point.
And he's in Miami though, right?
Right. He's in Miami, but
another great benefit of the virtual.
Yeah, it's Scott's fantastic, but I think he genuinely like he loves what he does, obviously. So that next week will be a good conversation, and then that's going to drop then while we're gone.
Yeah, we will be in Greece, which is going to be exciting.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've never been to Greece, so it's been on my bucket list for a long time, which is completely unrelated to the reason we're going out there, but it's still going to be, I'm really excited. I think it's a good time of year. We'll be in the islands and stuff for a while too. So it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. We get to, so for those of you listening, this is a trip that is being done through Destinations by Reliance, which if you listen to the first season, we did a couple of episodes from Cabo at the beginning of the season, which were for the same programming. It was for Destinations. This one's a client trip that we're taking, and it's the Greek island glow voyage with Virgin Voyages. But the trip starts like the day before the voyage, and the client's group has scheduled us. They have a very strong, we'll call it strong.
We have a very, very ongoing schedule, we could say.
We do. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's
and a good one though. It's going to be fun.
No, we will see a lot. We will see a lot. But it'll be interesting to see how everybody fares, because I even was telling the client last night that it'll be interesting to see how many people by the end of the week stick with the schedule, because I feel like there could be some people that drop out just in terms of It's a lot, but the reality is you're only there once, like in a blue moon, if you ever.
It's definitely going to be a marathon, not a sprint. So we'll see who sprints and who runs the marathon.
Exactly. So. And who's running it, or as one of the shuttle companies or transportation companies told me, because we had asked, we're like, hey, can we take alcohol on the bus? Like one person said, no, the police, they will chase us. And I was like, well, I don't run. And even if I did, I won't run very fast. So we're not going to try that. But, it'll be interesting to see how the trip goes. But you get you're going to be amazed because you get a lovely sea view.
Yeah,
out of the ship.
I'm very excited.
You're very excited about.
I'm bringing one of my. I'm bringing a buddy to help out with some production assistant work as well too. So I think we'll have a good team with us and stuff to capture everything and make sure everything's documented appropriately.
Well, if you need a cold, dark place to reset, just come.
Yeah, I've heard you have I heard you have an interior cabin.
Yeah, I have an interior cabin on this cruise, which I've never stayed in one, so I am trying to stay positive about it. It'll be fantastic, but I do find it interesting. The interior cabins, I've told, actually sell out first, typically, if you're on your own. So there's a lot of like solo sailors on these trips, which Virgin does a very good job if you're on your own. Like they have a lot of solo sailor events throughout the itinerary that you can go like meet other people on the boat. Gotcha. So if you're by yourself, I think it's economically beneficial. But they have some cabins in the interior that sleep up to 4 people. So it could just be that it's dark and it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. So if you do stay up, like I may have in the past at the casino till, 3 o'clock in the morning.
The casino is going to be dangerous for me.
Until my server in the casino, Samson, tells me, Brian, we have to cut you off. And at first I was like, I have to stop gambling. He goes, no, I can't give you any more drinks. And then I'm like, well, I'm not going to not drink and I'm not going to sit here any longer if I have to. So, but
this will be my first cruise as well too, which is kind of
You've never been on a cruise?
Never been on a cruise. And this is going to be a
like
cruise that...
I am like your travel channel person.
Hey,
like I took you to Europe, I think, for the first time.
First time. Yep.
You've been to Berlin, you've been to London, you've been to Coventry, England, which not many people can say they've been to Coventry.
That was a fun trip though. That was a good time. We made the most of Coventry.
Belfast, Dublin.
We went to the Cotswolds.
You've been to Mexico before though, right?
Yes.
Or was that a first? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time in Cabo though.
That's fair.
But
well, you're an East Coast guy,
so yeah. So it's usually like the Cancun, Tulum vibe.
Right. Which Tulum's fantastic.
Yeah.
But, the Greece trip was going to be fantastic, I think, at the end of the day. But it's going to be interesting just because between the inside cabin, never done that before, and then just the robustness of the itinerary, which for everybody listening, I don't want to say it's a funny story, Tyler, but obviously you've had a front row seat to kind of how this thing has evolved.
100%.
So I was only supposed to be a guest on this trip. So we had some changes, and then I was like, okay, so just the way it is, like I got to jump in and do this. And I definitely have learned some things through the process, but I also was like, this is going to be very interesting. I don't know that I thought this through completely, but I'm excited about it. I think everyone's going to have a great time, and it'll be a great group of people. That's the thing. It's a great group of people. So at least it's not a client that's boring.
Yeah. So, this client did come to Cabo with us, and she was a great time. As well as her crew.
Yeah. Which I was texting her husband last night because I was like, oh, there's a tattoo parlor on the ship. So I was like, should I make an appointment? We can get matching tattoos.
I think it might have to happen. I don't know if it's going to, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah. But I did tell him, because I then realized after I sent the text, oh, they offer piercings too. He draws the line at the piercings. So I what do you do? And then by the end of it, I'm getting kicked out of the casino at 3 o'clock in the morning on the last night. So...
Well, speaking of getting kicked out, in terms of hospitality stuff, is there anything that's driving you crazy this week?
I think 2 things are driving me crazy this week. Okay. One, not so much in hospitality, but both are really not in hospitality, but they're because of hospitality that I've been driven to these things driving me crazy. And one doesn't even drive me crazy, but one thing I will say that drives me crazy is I did get this parking ticket in the mail.
Oh, man.
Because I went to an industry event in Tucson, Arizona. And I can actually give you the exact date that I was in Tucson. I was in Tucson on June the 30th.
There you go.
And I've learned two things from this parking ticket. Number one, I should actually have paid attention to the signs, which I read that said, you need to pay. But I thought, well, this is a weird thing. You're at the convention center, like it's a surface parking lot. The gate's wide open. There's no no, you need to pay. And you're supposed to do it on your mobile app. I did not pay. Obviously, my $25.92 that I am going to have to pay for the ticket is more than the parking would have been. That would have been like $4.
It's a steep 25.
Right. The other thing I've noticed is this license plate on the car I've renewed, but it would have been helpful also if I've put the ticket on the vehicle.
There you go.
Or the sticker on the vehicle.
Yeah.
So I need to...
I guess it kind of reminded you. It's a $20 extra reminder to put your sticker
exactly.
on. Yeah.
But I was very confused at first because this letter was sent to me from New Orleans. And I was like, I didn't have a car in New Orleans.
Now that's
so
odd.
I got ready to shred it. And then I realized in the little bitty print, it says 400 West Cushing Street, Tucson. I was like,
yeah,
that's your only indication that it didn't happen in New Orleans. You should change your envelopes, people. Well, crazy. Well, just the last thing I'll leave you with, because I said I had two things to share. So I was texting with one of my old colleagues last night, and this is horrible that I thought of her. And I'm not going to call her out by name because there's way too many people that know her. She probably would tell you she will tell you it was not her fault. But the reality is, yes, maybe it was my idea originally, like when I was young and dumb. And then 2 years later, she actually executed on it. I don't know. I would have never suggested it these days, but I saw this post on Instagram last night, and it's from this. I don't even follow it. Instagram suggested it to me, so obviously I have a slightly twisted sense of humor. But the Instagram handle is Historians, and this is what it says, Tyler. Disney hired some little people to dress as Pinocchio and wave at people at the premiere of Pinocchio. They left them on the balcony with enough food and wine for the day, but by late afternoon, they were all naked because the costumes were too hot, drunk, and screaming swear words at people.
I just can't imagine if I had a family, taking my family out and then just seeing that show. I would probably stay there for a little bit longer and just watch, because that'd be a fun show.
Like that may have been more exciting than what was
that's worth the price of a Disney ticket.
Keep in mind, this would have been 1940 when this happened. So,
oh my God.
And it was 11 little people, which are we allowed to call them little people?
This was not recent.
No, this wasn't the new Pinocchio.
Oh,
no, this was the original Pinocchio.
I'm like, how did this not end up on my feed?
No. This was this would be like global breaking news.
Yeah.
But no, this was in 1940. But
checks out.
I sent it to her because I was like, tell me why this like makes me immediately think of you. And she's like, I don't know why it makes you think of you. It was your idea, and your idea she's thinking of. And what made me think of it was I had jokingly, the first year that I was the general manager at a hotel here in Phoenix, I was tasked with planning the company like Christmas party. No, it would have been the second year, because the year before it was a very boring party. Okay. And I was like, it was just very boring. And I was determined. I was like, I'm going to make this actually something people want to come to.
Yeah.
So we were trying to come up with all sorts of crazy ideas. And I, of course, woke up one morning and thought it would be a grand idea to hire little people. Are we allowed to call them little people? I don't know. I feel like I should have like checked up with somebody before we started this, but I'm not trying to offend anybody. But I thought we should hire little people to be elves, and we can get Santa and like do a whole like winter wonderland thing.
Yeah.
And the whole idea then grew from doing that to like we should get like actual reindeer. Now, granted, this was a crazy idea, and it was shared with a very small circle of people. And I was like, it's never actually going to happen.
No pun intended. Fast
forward 2 years later. By this point, I'm at the corporate office. Like, I don't really know what's going on. Tiffany, I just said it. So let's, we'll take that out.
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 years later, she is tasked, the person I was texting last night was tasked with planning a party.
Okay.
Unbeknownst to me, she had found a guy to play the Grinch that stole Christmas. Yeah. So that's cool. Found a Santa Claus, but then also had hired little people as elves to be with Santa. Which I
should have trademarked that idea.
Right. First I was horrified that she had done it. And all I kept thinking was, what are people going to think? But I was assured multiple times by multiple people, no, it's okay. She got them from an agency, because I guess there's actually like a talent agency, especially around the holidays, that like actually people go and register with, and then they're able to get this type of work.
Okay.
So, and like, you know, we don't talk politics on this show, so we could go down a rabbit hole with this in terms of that. But no, like I was mortified at first. I mean, would we do it again? Absolutely not. I would never suggest it these days. But I saw this post last night and I messaged her. And the funny thing is, then I was like, you should come on the show. She doesn't want to. I have a feeling it's because she thinks I'm going to bring up this whole situation with the little people.
We got to get her on the show.
We do.
Like we actually be a great conversation.
Yeah.
Even besides the point.
Right. I think we need to hear her side of the story. So,
yeah.
But, well, thank you everybody for joining us for another episode of the Friday Checkout here on the Check-In Podcast with Bryan. Be sure to follow us on all the social platforms. I guess not all of them, but Facebook, Instagram, at check_in podcast. And then be sure, if you did not catch the episode that dropped this past Tuesday with Aileen Canta with University Hotels, be sure to go download that and listen to that on YouTube or wherever else you get your podcasts. And then, as we were talking, next week, our episode will drop 9 a.m. Eastern on YouTube and all the platforms with Jack Paul. And then we'll be back again next Friday with another Friday Checkout. But in the meantime, have a great weekend, everyone. And Tyler, I will see you next week in Newark.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. The wonderful Newark.
Exactly. So, yeah. Awesome, guys. Well, have a great weekend and we will see you next week.
Sweet. Take care.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Reliance Hospitality Global Incorporated or any of its affiliates, partners, or subsidiaries. All content is for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be interpreted as professional or legal advice.